Hello and welcome to Copper Bulletins. My name's Mark and this is Derek who's sitting in for Mikey again. Say hi, Derek.
Hi there.
I think the first thing we need to talk about, given the time we're currently doing this, is we've just had Ali's birthday. Ali is 16,
Ali is 16,
and
yes. It's
I,
incredible.
I'm positive that like her 15th birthday was only like 2 months ago.
I know why this has been a crazy
Yeah,
year. It's completely distorted time.
yeah, it's been mad. It's weird because the year's kind of flown by, but at the same time, it also felt like the longest year ever.
Exactly, yeah. Totally. I totally agree with you. Yeah, there's times it's like disappeared and other times you're just like, God, is
March
this
was
year ever
what?
going to end?
March was like sort of like 17 weeks long.
Yeah. Uh,
But
yeah, that was the start of it. It was kind of nobody knew quite what was happening.
yeah.
I mean, we still don't know
Well,
what's
no,
happening, but
we still don't. But yeah, happy birthday, Ali. Who's looked like she had a great birthday. I'm imagining there was probably some good food had, but no beans, obviously, because she's not a fan.
no
No free
beans,
holidays.
definitely no beans.
And yeah, and coming close to the end of the year, and also while we've been a little mini hiatus, the album is finished. They've finished recording.
No, it's just that little bit closer to us getting new music from the girls. It's exciting, very exciting. I
Have
cannot
you got
wait.
any hopes for the new album? Anything you're like hoping to hear?
Um, I don't know. I'm just really hoping to hear new music. Um, I mean, I still love Queen of the Murder
Yeah,
Scene, but obviously, it's been around for a while now. We've all played all the
yeah,
songs, watched all the
we
videos,
played them to death.
more than once. Yeah. Um, so yeah, just hearing, just excited to see how they've progressed, what they've done, any new styles they've put in. Because I mean, Queen of the Murder Scene, you had gentle
Yeah,
ballads, you had good rock and roll, you had
yeah,
the sort of
bit of punk.
almost
Yeah,
punkish, yeah, feel to psychotic. Um, so yeah, I'm just really excited to.
I'm I'm expecting this. I'm expecting in terms of progression this to be a massive leap. Partly because of all the time they've had to practice and what with lockdown and stuff like
Exactly. I
that.
mean, they've spent an inordinate amount of
Yeah,
time practicing,
but
and
also
I mean,
working with Senor Bendeth. I think
exactly.
if you're
And I mean, that's the thing as well. They've got lava
yeah
behind them now, and they've got resources there that they never had
yeah.
before. And yes, Mr. Bendeth as well.
I,
What a
I
phenomenal.
think if you're working with someone who's got that much experience in the music industry and in terms of production, you're going to learn so much, and he's going to have so many ideas to bring to the table. And you know what obviously what the girls are like. They're like sponges when it comes to information and knowledge. They
Uh,
will have learned so
exactly.
much from
Yeah.
him.
I mean, they will.
They've probably been
They will just soak that up.
pestering like constantly, saying, "Well, tell us about this. Tell us about this." He probably went. Poor bloke probably went home knackered every night.
Uh, I dare say he did, and the girls as well
Yeah,
would go home absolutely
yeah,
knackered just from the practice, the learning, the trying to implement what they're learning,
yeah. Because even when they weren't
and
directly recording, they'll have been doing something. They'll have been working on something.
oh yeah, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, the that's one thing that I've always admired is the
Yeah,
work ethic. I mean, they put so much into their learning, their practice, their performances. Um, it's absolutely incredible just how much dedication and time and effort they put
yeah.
into what they do. Um,
And with
I
this
mean, I
album,
remember that.
They've been away from home for 3 months.
3
That's
months,
insane
yeah.
when you think about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of folk that would spend about 2
Yeah.
weeks in the studio. I mean, the fact that they've gone through so much pre-production, before they went
Yeah.
into the studio, I mean, that was months and months as well. We've spent 3 months in the studio,
Yeah.
in various studios.
Yes. Doing the little whistle stop tour of New Jersey and the surrounding area.
Yeah. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. And I'm really expecting big things from this album.
Again, I think it's brilliant that they had their parents with them as well. Again, a massive undertaking for the whole family and a massive commitment.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm sure they didn't have to spend that long recording. They could potentially have spent less time, I think. But the fact that they wanted to spend that long, I think that probably speaks volumes about the kind of album we're going to get.
And of course, the Giggles are all very particular about what they want to keep and what they're not prepared to bargain on, so I get the feeling from some of the vlogs that they've posted that it hasn't been an easy ride all the time.
No.
There has been some real hard points to fight over, and there's had to be some give and take with. I mean, I'm sure it's the same for any artist. But I mean, the passion, the determination of the girls is really what helps.
But I think
cement.
Yeah, definitely
the final product.
But I think equally, part of the producer's role is to be slightly more objective and to be, less attached to the music and to be able to say, I know you love this because this is your baby, but actually, coming at it from the other side, how about we do this? And you definitely need that.
Again, that goes back to having somebody like Mr. Bendy with his wealth of knowledge and years of experience. It can only be good for them.
No, they will have taken so much away from that. And
yeah,
I'd like to think he has as well. If mainly just a few more Spanish words to his vocabulary, or a few Spanish Christmas songs.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, you can tell as well just how much fun he's had working with the girls.
It did seem like a really healthy working relationship that everybody had. And it was really nice to see. I think a little word must go to what appears to be a blossoming bromance between Rudy and David as well.
Oh yes.
I know I did. I mean, on the serve, I know I did my little tribute that Angelica shared on Instagram. But because I remember after they'd finished recording, David posted a picture of Rudy on his Facebook, a picture of Rudy having a snooze. It's like, he's missing him already.
It's missing, yeah.
But it always feels like when someone works with The Warning, whether that's producers or whatever, it does kind of feel like they become part of the extended family, the extended Warning family, which I think is really nice.
It is.
And I feel like David Bendeth is very much now part of the extended Warning family.
I think that, for sure, 100% is.
No. It's like, certainly, I've got great hopes for this album, and I would very much. I wouldn't be mad if they used David on the next one. From what I've seen so far, it looks like a great relationship, and be nice
I
to hear about the next one.
there's going to be more collaborations for future albums between.
I think that would be nice to see.
Mr. Bendeth and the girls.
At the same time, I also understand the mindset behind using different producers, because you use different people, you meet different people, you learn. Again, people, they've got different ideas, different points of view, you learn new stuff. But I would imagine they haven't quite exhausted all of David Bendeth's knowledge yet. I'm pretty sure there's plenty more that they can glean from him.
Yeah, I'm sure there's still a lot more that we could show them and they could learn, for sure.
One thing I wanted to chat about, which again happened in our little gap, is the other week's Alley Day when Danny sort of touted that we were getting a bit of a mysterious activity. Well, it was on the Patreon page, wasn't it? We didn't know what was going on, and
Yes, there was.
lots of speculation, and it turned out to be a photo shoot for Spectre,
Yes,
which was
with her signature bass,
yes,
no less.
that was the double whammy. We thought, oh great, little photo shoot. She's a Spectre featured artist, you know. Obviously, with a big album coming up, they're looking to ride that wave.
Yes.
But then the double whammy of the Golden Thunder signature bass, which is
It's
insane. Imagine
it
having
is
signature bass at 50.
absolutely beautiful. Exactly. I mean, she must be one of Spectre's youngest featured artists, you know.
I'm sure if there's
And
any gear nerds in the I mean, I know a fair bit about guitars. I'm a bit of a gear nerd myself. I can't think of anyone having a signature model guitar or bass at that age.
at that age,
If you know of
I
anyone,
mean,
tell us in the comments, but I can't think of one.
indeed, yes, please let us know because, yeah, we can't think of anyone.
I like the
I mean,
bling factor.
it's absolutely incredible, and it is an absolutely stunning bass. I mean, I can't play an instrument to save myself, but
But you'd buy one of those.
I I would love to have
It's
one
nice.
of those.
I would imagine because if you're doing a signature bass with Ali from the Warning, you've got two ways. You either just make an expensive thing, what I call dentist guitars. So there's certain guitars which, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about here, but the gear nerds will understand. Like early PRSs, Patrick Eggles, stuff like that. They've got lovely, fancy like wood tops and stuff like that. They're the kind of guitars that people who've got loads of money but can't really play buy, and they just hang them on the wall. And that's what I call a dentist guitar. It's kind of a dentist buys and just hangs
Yeah.
them somewhere. So you either do that route because you know there's going to be lots of fans who'll buy it, or you go for the fans that she probably doesn't have yet. Because I imagine with the amount of hype they're going to get, think about 2018 and how hyped Greta Van Fleet were in 2018.
Yes.
They were probably the most hyped band, in the world. They were everywhere. If Lava put even a tenth of that kind of effort into pushing the Warning, they'll be everywhere. And you would imagine that along with that, they're going to attract a lot of younger fans. They're of their own age group, their peers, and arguably Ali is going to inspire a lot of them to pick up the bass.
Up the bass, yeah.
So
yeah, definitely.
That in that case, the signature model's got to be relatively affordable. Otherwise, you price yourself out of the market.
I mean, I think as well, just for rock music in general, it's great having three young females that are absolutely knocking it out the park.
Yes, which they really are.
And I mean, they really have just lifted rock and roll, and I really hope that it does spawn a whole new generation of younger people, male and female, to get inspired to pick up an instrument and make their own quality music.
And it certainly feels like Spectre feel the same way. Otherwise, they wouldn't be investing in a signature bass.
Exactly.
I mean, you've got to be confident that that person's name has enough clout to shift X number of bases to make it worth making the thing in the first place.
Yeah, to shift them, and they clearly do.
I'd be inclined to agree.
Which is absolutely fantastic.
One thing, the photo shoot was great as well. I loved when she was doing some action shots, and Rudy was in the background, sort of choreographing and sort of do it this way. And every time she did that because she'd like that sort of stomp forward, and every time I saw that in my head, I heard the intro to Hunter.
Yes.
going off. It's like again a
Yeah,
reflex. One
indeed. Yeah.
one thing I did notice about the Spectre shoot, you mentioned the boots, those big
Yes.
big like knee length boots.
The knee high.
I in a later video, like a video, like I think it might have when they were going home. Actually, Ali was wearing those boots. But what I want to know is, were they her boots all along, or did like Spectre support, bring stuff for their photo shoot, and did she just
That's
not
a
give
very
them
good
back?
question. And I
Did she just
I did wonder that
did,
as
did
well.
she,
Are they? Did Ali see
yeah,
them and go, "I want those
yeah,
boots,"
or
or
did
were
Spectre
they
did Spectre bring them along, and did she just not take
gifted?
them off and just leave with them
Just
on?
not take them off. Yeah.
I think finally something we need to have a talk about because it's getting heated out there. Seems to have been quite an escalation in terms of Danny Power and Ali days. There's a bit of an arms race going on in terms of topping each other at the moment, and it's great for the fans. That's all I can say.
Happy Power Day, everyone!
Oh, it's brilliant for us.
Woo!
But yes, yes,
Hey
there's
guys,
definitely
happy holidays.
it's definitely heating up.
Because we've had, I mean, Ali. The last Ali day was also Ali's birthday, so that's like can't really get much better than that.
No, and she's the first one to have her day on her birthday
Yes,
as well.
I remember someone's worked it out when the next one. It's quite a while. It's quite a way off for the next one.
Yeah, is it 2024
Yeah.
and 2026 or something like that? I think I
It's a
saw it
while.
before.
It's a while.
Yeah, it's a good while.
Ali also got the shout out from David Ellison on one of her days.
Yes.
But then Pow has I think knocked it out of the park recently. I can't remember was the Among Us game, was that Pow Day or Ali Day?
I think that was
I-
Friday that Ali joined
I
in.
think that was an Ali Day. I think that was an Ali Day, but Pow joined in, but she was there too. So it kind of steals the thunder. But
I mean, they are good at doing that on each other's days.
yes. But we've also which I think you missed because you weren't there. Pow had a listening party on Discord, and that was really good fun.
Yes, sadly I did miss that one. Unfortunate.
So she got lots of for anyone who isn't aware what happened, she got loads of asked fans to submit songs that they liked, and she put them in a playlist, and then we just had a big old listening party in Discord listening to this this fan submitted playlist, which was just really nice. It was a great little event. There was lots of people just. I mean, we were hanging around in voice chat, but we weren't actually chatting because that would have kind of defeated the object. But the voice text was going along at a rapid pace. There was lots of gifs flying around. Lots of people talking about K-pop, which I mainly blame Mikey and Angelica for that. I have to admit.
Most definitely, but hey, there's nothing wrong with a good bit of K-pop.
I'm still not quite that. I don't mind it. I just don't quite get it yet. Like someone plays it at me, I'm like, you know what? That's okay. Don't mind that. But yeah, I'm not.
They've got me converted to Mama.
Oh yes,
Mama
I know you're a Stanamu now, aren't you?
Yes, I am indeed.
But yeah, the listening part was really nice. It's again another great example of the ways they're being creative about sort of engaging the fan base. And again, if you're not following them on Instagram, why not? Because you miss out on all this stuff. Yeah, I mean, occasionally some say they've done a couple of bits in the Patreon Discord, admittedly, but that's probably more just to make it manageable. But
yes,
yeah, you're not really missing out on Daddy Power and Ali Day because you never know when they're going to drop some really big surprise, like a live Q&A or something.
That's it. It might be a live Q&A or that Danny doing that behind the scenes of the Spectre.
Yes, exactly.
Shoot on Ali Day. I mean, that's a phenomenal thing that easily miss, and it's not something you get to see a lot of from bands either.
Especially not that immediate. Just there in the moment.
Yes.
And of course, I mean, going back a bit further, let's not forget Danny's old little vocal jukebox that she did that one time.
That's right. Yeah,
She was just
she could
again middle of lockdown. She's really bored and it's like, right, throw some songs at me, and I'm going to sing bits of them. And we got a very wide range of songs.
Any cover that the girls do, there's always good. I mean, obviously Ali was doing Music Hysteria when she was knee height at
Yes,
Grasshopper.
she's well drilled on playing that.
You know, it's just lovely to see them taking songs like that. I mean, Danny's done Billie Eilish, you know,
I do like I like those
Radiohead.
little sort of throwaway covers.
Yeah.
I mean, by and large, I'll be honest, I'd be perfectly happy if they never played another cover again, because I know they've moved on from that. You know, it's not that.
Yes, exactly.
I still get a little bit frustrated when I see reactors reacting to the cover songs, because it's like, yes, they're good, but that's not what they're about now. You're kind of missing the point. But I get there's a progression there. But those little throwaway ones where, just, obviously it's like half an hour, just practice it and throw it out there. I like that because that's fun.
But yes, I know exactly what you mean. They are the most fun, and it's just lovely. It's because you know that they've taken some fan suggestion and just had half an hour to give it a tinkle, and then they belt it out.
So I just saw an intruder there behind you. So we just came in through the window.
Yes, that was our can returning home.
Has he brought you a mouse?
Thankfully not, but I'm just getting the story of where he's been.
Okay, he's out and about on the tiles.
Yeah, he always likes to come in and it's
Yeah.
meow 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 meow.
You would not believe the night I've had.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, thanks for that interruption, Ken.
Actually, that reminds me. I was thinking of going back to the recording process. They've been away from their cats for 3 months.
I know.
I've been treating her because you're away from a cat for that length of time. You get one of two responses from the cat. They're either so happy to see you, they'll come running up to you and they'll be all over you, or they'll just ignore you for a week. To say, yes, I'm not happy with you and I've still not forgiven you. I'd be intrigued to know which way Lincoln Zelda went.
Well, booze like that, if I've got to do an extended shift at work, I mean, I've seen me sometimes having to do maybe 3 or 4 hours overtime at work, and I come in and I just get this disgusted look from Boo, like, oh, so you're home then? And then she just kind of, and about turns and marches away from me. It's like, could they help it?
But again, I bet that would, I know certainly you and I, we're both cat people. I'd find it very hard to be away from my cats for 3 months.
Oh, I would.
I wouldn't like that. So that, again, that was a really big commitment to take on.
I mean, yeah, that is another, but yeah. Definitely.
Forget everything else. It's the fact that you left the cats alone. I mean, they didn't leave the cats alone. Obviously, I'm sure they were being looked after. But yeah,
yeah, I'm sure somebody was looking after them.
You're away from your cats for 3 months. That's not easy. That's a big sacrifice.
I'm sure they've not just left 3 months worth of food out and.
No, that would have been a bit irresponsible.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been heading on to the end of the year. What's been a very strange year for the Warning.
It's been a very strange year, yes.
But
I mean, that's the whole North American tour that we're going to do.
The UK show
postponed, then canned completely. The UK Kickstarter private show had to get knocked on the head.
They postponed, obviously having to postpone the recording process because that should have probably happened much earlier.
Exactly, yeah. Well, I think it was scheduled for the summer.
Yeah. But at the same time, I think you'd be hard pressed to say they've not made the best of it. They've done everything in their power to, turn any of these negatives into positives.
Into positives, yes. And I mean, plus the fact that used the time just to spend even more time on the practice, on material, and the pre-production for the album, and
Yeah.
all
I
the
think that's all you can do, really. You can't
Yeah.
get too bogged down in the what ifs. Things changed. The situation is what it is. How do you make the best of it? And
exactly.
it's obviously they must have been devastated to not do the tour and to not come to the UK. But at the same
I
time,
mean-
I think we've had stuff that we wouldn't have got otherwise, and again, they've had experiences they wouldn't have had otherwise.
Exactly. I mean, we did get a couple of live bits and pieces from the
Yeah, we
cave.
got the quarantine show back in March.
We've got the quarantine show, which was
That was incredible. We'd probably have had more as well if Danny hadn't done her shoulder in doing
yes.
K-pop
I
exercises.
think the thing with the quarantine show was because it was a nice mix between them in their basement and them doing like the show
Yeah.
as they would to a live audience.
Well, the funny thing about this, that because I'm a geek and I look at things like that, like there was about 10 shows on the US tour, wasn't there, at the time? And those probably venues,
something like that. Yeah.
you're probably looking at 300 to 500. So it might be a bit, might be 12 to 14, but they're venues 350, 400, 500 people around there. The quarantine stream, I think it peaked at around 5,000 people, didn't it? So they ended up performing to the same amount of people that they would have done on the tour, which I like that. I like that sort of balance. It's like,
Yeah, that is actually, yeah, I didn't realise that, but that's really good.
it kind of worked
actually.
out quite
Yeah.
nicely. But yeah, that was a
Yeah.
really good show. It was really good fun.
Well, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
And
yeah.
I think,
And that's the thing as well. It's nice when you get the bit of banter going on between them, and them kind of winding each other up and
oh yeah,
laughing at them and each other. And
I like watching that
It's-
back and spotting all the time. Ali steps up to the mic to do backing vocals and realizes it's the wrong time and steps back again. That's a fun game. Try take a shot every time that happens. Well, actually, don't do that. That's probably attempted murder. But oh, like we have
Somebody has to get in on that.
a guest on the podcast.
Yes, this is Can. Are you going to say hello, Can? No, of course you're not.
That's a cat that knows his way around the streets. I can tell.
Yes.
He looks like a cat that beats up other cats in alleyways.
I've got a feeling that he does, yes, don't you?
He's got
See?
he's got a very grizzled face.
Yes, well, you can't see it, but on this side of his face, he's got a nasty chunk missing where
Been fighting with the other cats.
he's been fighting with other cats, yes. Oh, there we
Look
go,
at
see
it,
his eyes.
little eyes in the corner. So let's get cat close up.
He's like, no,
It's like, no, don't be pointing that at me.
No.
This was not part of the deal.
that was not part of the
No.
deal, no.
Always good to have a little feline guest. But yeah,
Yes.
2020's been a strange year.
It's been a very strange year.
But I mean, the thing is, and I feel a bit cheesy saying it, but having the warnings music, and not just the music, but arguably the community around it, it's been a big part of me getting through 2020. I'm guessing you probably kind of feel the same in many ways.
I was going to say, definitely for me, and I think the majority of Warning fans can say, if it wasn't for all the fun bits and pieces that the girls have done, the the listening to the stuff that's out there, and the hope, and the living for the new album
Yes.
coming out. It's what has been keeping people
Yeah,
going.
it's definitely it's been one of the few bright spots in a year to forget.
And I think that's another thing that makes the Warning special, is that the girls do reach out to you on a personal level. You know, whether it's in a cowcast or a vlog or on one of the days, you know, it's they're definitely very aware and very appreciative of the fans, the support, especially through like platforms like Patreon. And you know, you can see how appreciative they are, and how thankful they are that,
And I imagine a lot of that
you know,
is kind of comes from how the band started, in terms of
yes,
being very reliant on fan support and crowdfunding and growing out from there.
yes, and it makes them very. They're always very engaging with their with their fans, and I mean, having the meet and greets at their shows and stuff as well. And of course, those in the higher tiers of Patreon get the perk of getting an invite to sound checks and stuff.
Yes.
Which is all a great way of keeping a sort of close bond with your fans. Whether that can continue as they get
that's
bigger
a
and
big
more
question.
popular.
That is a big question, isn't it? Whether it's sustainable and whether it scales.
Yeah.
I to be honest, knowing how they operate and how important it's been to them, I would imagine they would find a way.
They will try as much as possible to keep that kind of contact with their fans.
But it's been it's been a strange year, but the warning activities and the anticipation for the album has been a big part in sort of getting it to breeze past in many ways.
Getting through what everything that's going on, most definitely.
I feel like, I'm stuck inside and I've not been anywhere since for 4 months. But it's Danny Day on Friday, so you know.
I know that's the thing. It's been great. You know, it's like, oh, we've got Danny Day, Pow Day, Ali Day, and it's kind of nice. I mean, it's which day's the best day? It's kind of like asking a parent who's their favourite child, you know.
It's Pow Day though.
It's Ali Day.
I guess Khan is rooting for Danny Day in the interest of fairness.
Yes. Is Danny Day the best day? I think that was.
I think that was a yes. So that's a nice even split, which I think is the fairest way to have it.
Yeah.
Well. Well, here's to 2021, and 2020. I'm kind of not. I'm not going to be sorry to see the back of 2020. I have to admit.
I mean,
but there's been some good bits.
Yeah, I suppose we've got to look at the good bits of like getting the quarantine show, getting all these extra vlogs and the Danny Ali Pow days. I mean that has been the best part of 2020.
It's definitely it's what kept things ticking along, isn't it?
Yes. So. You know, it's things as well that you might not have got to see ordinarily as well, which is, and you know, all these little covers that they threw out, and all these little activities that might have not happened if they'd been, well, they wouldn't have happened because they'd been busy. There was
a little bit of wisdom from Danny the other week. Remember, I don't know if you saw that on the Lens Q&A, and she was asked, "What's the best piece of advice you've been given?" And it was, don't worry yourself about things that are outside your control. Which is actually brilliant advice, because if you there are things you can't change, and you're never going to be able to change. So don't worry about them. Just focus on what you can change, and equally, don't worry about what you haven't had, what didn't happen. Just
Unfortunately, I don't get the Lens Q&As because it's the tier above me at Patreon.
well, it was a good question. You missed a good question, but it's it's a good sentiment, and I think
That is a very good
and
sentiment.
it sums up this
Just-
year as well. I think it's like
Yeah,
try not to worry
I mean,
too much about
that's it.
what didn't happen and what we didn't get. Just focus on what we did get, because actually there was some pretty good stuff that happened along the way.
Because there was some good stuff
There
that
was.
happened.
Derek, I think that's pretty much it. I think we pretty much covered everything we needed to.
Yes, I think we've covered all the main points
It's a
since
bit of
our
a
hiatus.
hectic time at the moment, with Christmas coming up and commitments. So I think
Yes.
Mikey's going to try and get back on board for the next one. And we'll try and get another guest. But again, we're heading into Christmas, so it might be a bit tricky. Understandably, people got better things to do. Gotta go shopping.
That's it. When it comes up to this time of the year, it's always difficult trying to get things
People got
fitted in. But,
shopping to do, stuff to wrap, family members to ignore, that kind of stuff.
Always happy to help out if I can.
Well, you might find that happening sooner rather than later.
Possibly for the next one.
Yes, but yes, I'm looking forward to seeing if maybe we get something from the warning over the festive period. Maybe a little sneaky live stream or something.
A little Christmas live stream.
I'd be
from the
absolutely
cave.
up for like a little virtual New Year's Eve concert.
Out dressed as Santa Claus.
Derek dressed as the Grinch. Yeah, a little
Ellie dressed as Rudolph.
yes. Rudy the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Well,
Yeah.
Rudy the Red-Nosed Reindeer, yes.
But equally, I won't be too upset if there isn't one, because I know they've had a busy 3 months, and I think they've probably earned a bit of me time, given.
Yes, I think they've certainly earned a bit of R&R time.
Yeah, get down. Just. I mean, I know how I feel if I've been away. I used to sometimes have to go away for work for a couple of days, and just getting home is like, this is my bed. This is so much.
Yes.
And that's just after a couple of days. I can't imagine how that feels after 3 months. I bet it feels great.
After 3 months, yeah. And the thing is, it's not even remotely close to the home either. I mean, it's been maybe a different country and, a good few hundred miles away,
I think it's probably thousands.
or possibly thousands, yeah.
I tend to forget how different America is in scale compared to where we are.
I know, it's like Edinburgh to London's only over 400 odd miles.
So that's almost 500 miles.
It is.
Gonna have a little. You thought you were going to get away without a Proclaimers jab, but there it is.
little
Just a little one.
Proclaimers.
So I won't play the song again. Not this time.
And yeah, I mean, 500 miles is like round the block for America.
Well, yeah, it always interests me, like talking to Isaiah about that, because obviously he flies as well. And yeah, flying in America is like getting on a bus. So anyway, when do you think we're going to get the album? What's your guess? You don't have to give me an exact date, but when do you reckon? Bearing in mind they've got to do mixing, post-production, and obviously to figure out a promotional schedule, do some marketing, actually make CDs.
I would love it to be March, April time.
March feels a little bit ambitious.
I think March might be pushing it. That's what I'm saying. I would love it to be March, April. I think more realistically, May, June, maybe even July.
I don't know. If everything is going smoothly, I can see April. But we'll see, won't we?
April.
The thing
May.
is, it feels like it's a long way. That's going to fly by.
I know that's the thing. Well, I mean, this time of year always flies by anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, um, just for the break and festive days and stuff. The always is the quickest 2 weeks of the year. It just flies by.
Yeah.
Then you're into January, and then
Yeah. Before you know it, halfway through the year again. So.
I mean, that's the funny thing. I mean, February is only 3 days shorter than an average month, but it feels like it's about 2 or 3 weeks
Yeah.
shorter sometimes. February
just
just
breezes
seems to
past.
disappear like it's crazy.
Well, so I'm pretty sure that before we know it, the album will be out. We'll have CDs in our hands if people are into that kind of thing. Oh, helping,
Keyboard for the pillow.
helping. Nice. But yeah, the album will be on us in no time. I think now.
Oh, yeah. I think before we know it, the album will be out. And yes, look
Yeah.
forward to the.
When do you think it's coming out? Put it in the comments. I keep forgetting to talk about stuff like that. That YouTube stuff. Talking about comments and remembering that people are actually going to watch it. So, but yeah, again, we're at the end. I think we're done.
Yeah,
You had a good
I
time.
think we've covered it.
Had a good little. I feel like
It's
they
been-
always say that on game shows. If you had a good time when they've just like not won something, they're like, no, not really. We've not won anything.
Yeah,
No, it was great until I didn't win, and now it's been rubbish. But yeah, if you've been listening along or watching, thanks for listening. Thanks for putting up with it till the end. I think I'll stick the quarantine concert at the end because we talked about that, and I think that's a must watch.
definitely.
So go where I put it. Go watch that. I'll put it over there. And yeah, thanks for listening, and see you on the next one. Maybe with Derek, maybe with Mikey.
Thanks for putting up with me again.
Yes, I'll try and put closed captions on for those of you who don't understand Scottish.
That might be required. Yes.
Or find yourself a dictionary.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, thanks for listening, and we will see you on the next one.